The house on Elm Street had been in my family for 3 generations, but no one had lived in it full-time since my grandmother passed in 2008. When I inherited it in the summer of 2024, I saw it as a fresh start. The realtor called it a charming Victorian fixer-upper. I called it cheap. After the divorce, I needed somewhere quiet, somewhere mine. So I moved in alone, with nothing but boxes, a mattress, and the faint hope that new walls could erase old pain. The house was beautiful in a decayed way: high ceilings, original hardwood floors, stained glass windows that painted the rooms in jewel tones when the sun hit just right. But it was also enormous: 3 stories, 7 bedrooms, and an attic that ran the full length of the roof. The attic door was at the end of the second-floor hallway, a narrow wooden panel with a rusty hook latch. The realtor had mentioned it was used for storage. I never bothered to check. The first few weeks were peaceful. I worked remotely, unpacked slowly, and spent evenings sanding floors or painting walls. The only odd thing was the quiet. Too quiet. No traffic noise, no neighbors close enough to hear. Just the occasional creak of old wood settling. Then, one night in early September, I woke to a soft thump overhead. I lay still in the dark, listening. Another thump. Then a slow, deliberate scrape, like furniture being dragged across bare boards. It stopped as suddenly as it started. I told myself it was a squirrel on the roof or the house shifting. Old houses make noises. I went back to sleep. But it happened again the next night. And the next. Always around 2 o'clock or 3 a.m. Always directly above my bedroom on the second floor. By the end of the first month, the sounds had evolved. The thumps became footsteps, light, bare footsteps padding back and forth across the attic floor. Sometimes they paused right above my bed, as if whatever was up there was standing still, listening. Once, I swear I heard a soft sigh, almost like a woman exhale. The narrow staircase creaked under my weight. The air grew colder with every step. At the top, the hook latch was already unfastened, the hook hung loose, as if someone had just opened it from the inside. I pushed the door. The attic was vast and dim, lit only by 2 small dormer windows coated in decades of grime. Dust floated in the weak light. Old trunks, broken chairs, and sheet-draped furniture crowded the space. In the center, directly above my bedroom, the floorboards were clean. Swept bare in a perfect rectangle, as if someone regularly cleared the dust there. I found something else, a child's rag doll, faded and worn, sitting upright against a beam. Its button eyes stared straight at the attic door. One arm was missing. A faint smell, like lavender mixed with something sour, lingered in the air. I took the doll downstairs and threw it in the trash. That night, the footsteps were heavier. Angry. They stomped back and forth for hours. At one point, something heavy slammed against the attic floor so hard the chandelier in my bedroom rattled. I started sleeping with the lights on. In November, I found the diary. It was hidden inside an old trunk beneath a pile of yellowed linens. The leather cover was cracked, the pages brittle. The handwriting was delicate, feminine, dated 1946 to 1952. It belonged to my great-aunt Lydia, whom I'd never met. My grandmother had rarely spoken of her. Only once, in passing, calling her poor Lydia with a shake of the head. The entries began innocently enough: daily life, gardening, visits from neighbors. Then, in 1949, the tone changed. March 12, 1949. He locked me in the attic again tonight. Says I'm unwell. Says I need rest. The baby kicked all evening. I sang to her through the door, but he wouldn't let me down. I'm so tired of the dark. April 3, 1949. The baby came early. Alone. Up here. He found us at dawn. Took her away. Said she didn't cry. Said she was wrong. I begged to hold her. He wouldn't let me. Buried her somewhere I'll never know. I haven't spoken since. The entries grew shorter, more frantic. July 1951. I hear her at night. Tiny footsteps above me. She's looking for me. She knows I'm here. January 1952. He thinks I'm mad. But I'm not. She lives in the attic now. She waits for mothers who fail. She waits for me. Sometimes I go up to sit with her. She doesn't cry anymore. She just watches. The final entry was dated February 14, 1952. I'm going to her tonight. The hook is easy to reach from inside. He won't hear me leave. Lydia had died in 1952, officially of pneumonia. My grandmother had always said she wasted away. I burned the diary in the fireplace that same night. But the footsteps didn't stop. They grew closer. One December morning, I woke to find the attic door standing wide open. The hook latch was on the floor, snapped clean in two. That night, I didn't hear footsteps. Instead, I heard singing soft, lullaby sweet, coming from directly above my bed. Rockabye baby, on the treetop. I sat up. The voice was a woman's, gentle and sad. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. The singing stopped. Silence pressed in, thick and watchful. Then, from the hallway, came the slow creak of the attic door closing. Click of the latch. I didn't sleep again. On December 29th, I called a realtor. Told her I wanted to sell immediately. She laughed nervously. That house? Honey, it's been on and off the market for decades. People always leave fast. I asked why. She hesitated. They say a woman lives in the attic. That night, the last night, I packed a single bag and planned to sleep in my car until morning. At 2:47 a.m., I heard it, the soft pad of bare feet descending the attic stairs. One step. Pause. Another step. Closer. I froze in the living room, bag in hand. The footsteps reached the second-floor landing. Stopped. Then, slowly, they began descending the main staircase. I backed toward the front door, heart hammering. The air turned ice-cold. My breath fogged. Halfway down the stairs, she appeared. A woman in a faded 1940s house dress, pale as candle wax, long dark hair hanging loose over her shoulders. Her feet didn't quite touch the steps. In her arms, she cradled something bundled in a yellowed blanket, something tiny that didn't move. She stopped on the bottom step and looked straight at me. Her eyes were hollow with grief. Her mouth moved, forming silent words I could somehow hear inside my skull. You heard her. You know she's alone. She took one step toward me. I ran. I fumbled with the front door, yanked it open, and stumbled into the freezing night. I didn't look back until I reached my car. The house stood dark and silent. Every window blank. Except one. In the small dormer window at the very top, the attic, a pale face watched me. Not the woman. A child. Small. Motionless. Button eyes staring. The woman stood behind her, one hand on the child's shoulder, rocking gently. I drove away and never returned. The house sold 3 months later to a young couple expecting their first baby. Sometimes, late at night, I check the real estate listings. It's back on the market again. Vacant. Ready for new owners. And up in the attic, she waits, patient, grieving, singing her endless lullaby. She lives in the attic. And she's always looking for company.